Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Asyhadu alla ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Allahumma sholli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad amma ba'du. Top of the morning to you all. My name is Adeeva Keisha. You guys can call me Defa. I'm from Muhammadiyah 2 Senior High School, Surabaya. I'm currently 15 years old, and as a teenager, I have a lot of hobbies. A few of them are drawing, listening to music, watching movies and shows, and also reading. Now, speaking of reading, as a reader myself, I think that reading is important. Like right now, I wouldn't be here publicly speaking if I didn't have any materials from references that I've read. So that's one of the reasons why reading is considered important. The more you read, the more that you can learn. Other than that, by reading, it can enriches one's imagination and also help us understand what others are feeling and thinking. So it gives us an advantage in socializing. There are many variations of books in this world. There's academic, fictional and non-fictional, informative, encyclopedias, dictionaries, and many more. Different age groups prefer different types of books. Children's, they prefer fairy tales. Youngsters like me prefers young adult fictional books and also motivational and inspirative books to help us for our future success. Meanwhile, older folks, they tend to read spiritual books. But with that many variation of books in this world, it's a huge disappointment that people these days read less. I mean, look at our own country. We're top 2 on the list of countries who lacks literacy. Based on UNESCO's data, the public's interest in reading is only 0.001%, which means, imagine there's 1,000 people, and that many people, only one of them likes to read. This is caused by the lack of reading materials in our country, or maybe people haven't developed a habit of reading since they were younger. How to increase interest in reading, you may ask? Well, we can start off by picking up a book of our favorite variation. A tip from me, maybe choose a popular one. Choose one that people recommend you to read. An easygoing one that will make you enjoy reading. And then after you enjoy reading, you can try and start to set up goals on how many books are you going to read this year or month. We can use apps like Goodreads to help us track how many pages have you read, how many books have you read in total, and what's our favorite variation of books. And maybe we can get new recommendations to put in our to-be read list. We can also join book reading communities where we can discuss about the same book, give it some opinions, some critics, just a place where we can pour our hearts out. Other than that, we can also try to annotate. I annotate, and I assure you, it's really fun. You can write down your opinions on the book, or maybe use a sticky note and stick it. And then you can also use tabs to mark your favorite moments in the book. And at the end of the day, you can just look back and laugh at your annotation notes. Now, as a reader, one of our biggest challenges is facing reading block and also reading slump. Both of them have the same point. It's a feeling of being overwhelmed by reading, like you want to read so many books, all of the books even, but you just got no motivation at all to pick one, to pick up one, to read one. Well, sure, maybe you can read 1 or 2 paragraphs, or maybe even the whole page, but you can't retake in anything that you've just read. You've got no motivation or will to continue reading it. This is usually caused by us having challenges, facing difficulties, maybe changes and stresses in our lives. How to fix this is by starting to read shorter stories. And then we can also try reading something new, like trying a new genre. For example, You used to like reading romance, and then all of a sudden, reading block hits you. You can try fixing that by reading some new genre like fantasy or maybe sci-fi. If that didn't work, you can also try going back down to memory lane and reading an old favorite of yours. Or maybe the reason we haven't been reading more is because we can't purchase the physical copy. Because physical copies books, some of them are really, really expensive. I gotta say so myself. We can fix this by going to the library instead. We can borrow books instead of purchasing them. We can also read at the bookstore, and if you still want to purchase the book, you can purchase an ebook instead of the physical copy. Just don't purchase illegal or counterfeit ones. Always support the writer, and don't forget to support your local and small bookstores. As what they say, today a reader, tomorrow a leader. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Sorry for any mistakes. I'll see you all at the top. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.